Hello, and welcome to Thursday night No Fee Tai Chi. Glad you could join me. We're going to start off by placing our feet square and parallel, about shoulder width apart. Don't get too hung up on the details. There's way too many details to get hung up about later on. For now, we just want to make sure that our toes are nicely in line and that our feet are pointed forward. And the way we're going to define forward is drawing an imaginary line between our big toe and our other four toes, going straight back through the heel. This is going to be a difficult thing for you to notice at first. Most people are going to have a slight bit of toe turnout. So we're going to work on squaring that up and getting used to that just being nice and square and even. Then we're going to start with the posture I love called Taoist Awaits the Dawn. And Taoist Awaits the Dawn just means we set up our feet nice and square. We have our hands, hanging down at our sides. Our middle fingers are roughly pointed along the seam of our pants. And we are tall through the top of the head. And this means a point somewhat in the center of our head. We should be able to draw a straight line through the center of our body, heading down, straight line through the side. And that should form a line that goes perfectly through our head, neck, torso, abdomen, and out the bottom of our pelvis, right in the center there, and hangs down and should hit a point exactly halfway between our feet, halfway front and back. And that is our center line. And we want to be as tall as we can through that center line. We want to feel that it's almost like that center line is a thread picking us up very gently. And everything else in our body is going to hang off of that point. And we just let everything hang down. Some of the trickier areas are going to be our shoulders. So we want to make sure that we can feel our shoulder blades falling down our back. We're probably going to feel a little difference between our right shoulder and our left shoulder, depending on which handed we are. Another tricky area is going to be our lower back and our pelvis, allowing that to hang down. We really want to try and equalize the tension so that our pelvis is hanging off of our ribs the whole way around. So it hangs equally off of the back and equally off of the front. It may help for you to imagine gently tucking your tailbone under. But don't put too much effort into it, or you're going to find you're actually sliding your pelvis too far forward. We really want to get into the hang. So we're standing up nice and tall and feeling everything hang off of that. Any tension, we can just let it drain down, down, down into the earth. And we're just going to hang out here for a couple of minutes. If you want, you can gently place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, like you're about to say the letter T. Let all of your tension drain. Your breathing becomes smooth and relaxed. In-breath becomes out-breath. Out-breath becomes in-breath. You can always be a little taller. You can get picked up a little bit more. You can allow things to hang off of that a little more. And you can always remember to smile. And then into our Sandow salute. As we breathe in, we're going to relax the front of our hips and the front of our shoulders, opening them up to the sky. Leaning back. As our arms hit shoulder height, we straighten back up. And we exhale. Pausing at the forehead. Inhale, and we exhale. Pausing at the heart. We inhale. And we exhale, turning the hands over. Point them down into the earth. Inhale, draw up from the earth. And we do that 2 more times. Open the hips, open the shoulders. Draw up from the earth. And one more time. Very good. Last week we started doing a Tai Chi opening move in a few different fashions. We're going to start off doing the Qigong style, as I think I phrased it in there, where we're starting off at the tips of our toes, drawing up from the earth, building, allowing energy to rise up through our body, coming all the way up out the top of our head and the tips of our fingers, and then flowing all the way back down to the ground. So we're treating this like a toe to head scan. So bend our knees as we hit the bottom. Breathing in, start with the toes, draw up. Feel the body inflate with the energy. Raising up, 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 and down. Use this as a moment to scan yourself from head to toe and toe to head. Breathing in, drawing up. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And out. Scanning from bottom to top. And everything fill up. Inflate. Very nice. Breathe in and out, standing up. Press out of the earth. Start to move around a little bit. Loosen up anything that you feel has gotten a little bit stuck, or just feel like you really want to move. When you were checking in all the way up and down your body, any of those problem spots you noticed, those little areas that are kind of like, I could use a little work there. Just see if you can play around with those a little bit, move them gently, gently, gently. See whatever you can do to try and get your mind into that area. Get some movement happening, get some relaxation happening. Get some fluids pumping through there. Whatever you need to do, just take a minute. Think of it kind of like a really gentle stretch. And just move how your body feels like it needs to move. Get into any areas that are just feeling a little bit ick. Ooh, good pop in my hip there. Okay. Now that we've taken a moment for that spontaneous movement, moving things around, stretching stuff out, let's see if there's any comments here I need to respond to. And I don't think so. Nope. No comments. All right. Then let's keep going, shall we? So today, our main theme is going to be holding the ball. Holding the ball is not necessarily one of those like named moves in your Tai Chi sets, but it tends to show up everywhere. It's often viewed as a transition movement, and it is possibly my favorite Tai Chi movement. So we're going to spend a little bit of time with it today. We're going to start off as we usually do with our feet square and parallel, toes pointing ahead, roughly shoulder width. If you want to be really precise about how wide and all things to do it, there is a stances and standing playlist on my channel. Please go check out the videos there for that. Gets into way too much detail. We're not too worried about it for tonight anyways. So feet square and parallel, and we're going to let our hips hang down off of our ribs, hopefully all the way around. And we're not going to worry about squatting down into horse stance at this particular juncture. We're going to start off working by catching a ball in front of our chest. And we're just going to very gently raise our hands up in front of our chest, like we're catching a medium-sized ball. Okay. And I want to do this with as little muscular effort as possible. As a matter of fact, pretty much all of the muscular effort is going to come from just my bicep. I just want my bicep to fire as my hands gently lift up on an in-breath right in front of my chest, like I'm going to catch a ball. From the side, I'm going to grab a ball. Just so you have a bit of an idea, this is a 6-pound medicine ball, but I recommend just like grab a basketball or something like that. I use my daughter's mini basketball quite frequently, at least when I'm shooting videos and she's in bed and doesn't know I've stolen it. So if my hands were just in front of my belly while holding this ball, as I breathe in, I just want to fire the biceps and bring my hands up in front of my chest to catch the ball here. I don't want to let the ball hit me. I don't want it to be, I don't want to try and catch it out here because that's going to put a little too much leverage force there. Just as gently as I can, just fire those biceps, bring the ball up in front of my chest, nice and comfortable like. So, hands at our sides, resting gently. As we breathe in, just fire the biceps, bring the hands up in front of the chest, like so. Very comfortable, very relaxed. When we breathe out, let go completely. Let all the tension out of those biceps. Don't let them feel twitchy. As we breathe in, they engage. Raising up in front of the chest. And we exhale. Let it down. Disengage completely. Breathing in. And out. Breathing in. And out. And just very, very gentle motion. Put as little effort into this as possible. Tai Chi is always about being as lazy as we can. And when we think we're as lazy as we can, we ask ourselves, could I be even lazier? Now, the only lift that is happening in my hands is coming from the biceps. The only lift that's kind of happening in my own arm overall, slightly lifting this up in front. So my elbows are just leaving the side, like the exact side center line of my body. It's just leaving that. As I come up, is the weight of my shoulder blade falling down my back. So as my biceps fire, my shoulder blade falls down my back slightly, lifting my hands up to catch in front of my chest. Hopefully that little tip helps you be even lazier. So far, we're standing at our Taoist awaits the dawn, completely relaxed, not a care in the world. Someone throws a ball at our chest. We breathe in, reaching up, and we catch the ball in front of our chest. From here, we are going to rotate the ball, but we're going to keep our palms facing each other so they always remain on opposite sides of the ball. And we really want to think of one hand really taking control of the ball, and that's the hand that is going to the bottom. The hand that is on top is floating freely on top of that ball, letting it rotate and spin as it needs to. So it looks a little like this. One hand goes up, one hand goes down. The lower hand has control of the ball. It's the one moving it. And the hand on top is just maintaining its orientation directly opposite the hand on the bottom. The more you can imagine an actual ball, the easier this will be. Imagine a ball you really identify with. If you played a lot of basketball, it could be a basketball. If you played a lot of dodgeball, make it a dodgeball. If you had a favorite beach ball, make it a beach ball. If you're really into your esoteric mysticism, make it a crystal ball. Make it a water balloon. Whatever you gravitate to the most, The thing that you can picture the most in your head is going to be the most effective visualization for you. You'll find a lot of suggestions for different things you, quote unquote, should visualize. And if they work for you, great. If they don't work for you, don't use them. If you are doing a movement and something spontaneously pops into your head, maybe this isn't a ball at all. Maybe this is a chicken. I don't know. But if that's what pops into your head, that's probably going to be the most useful thing for you. So a couple of things that might not be completely apparent from a straight-on view of this is, in as much as I am imagining a ball between my hands, I am imagining that ball at a very fixed point in space. So as I'm doing this movement, I am doing my best to keep that ball at the exact same point in space, not moving it in any way from where I initially caught it. I am just rotating the ball in space, rotating my hands around it, rotating the ball, but keeping it absolutely fixed. This is another reason why having a strong visualization of something here between your hands in space is such a powerful tool for helping to get this working right. So some things that we can do with the ball before we even get into the quote-unquote Tai Chi of it is we can change the size of the ball. This ball can be absolutely any size we need it to be. We can move it however it feels good to move. We can expand it. We can compress it. You can make it absolutely tiny. Now, to do this in a Tai Chi way, we're going to start off with a close, a close approximation of the way you are most commonly going to find it in a Yang style Tai Chi form. And that means we're going to start adding a little bit of twist to it, and we're going to twist a particular way in a particular direction based on our hand position. That means I am going to be in my proper horse riding stance for this, so I need to bend my knees and sit down. If the ball is caught in front of me, if I am going to twist the ball as I've been doing, just maintaining this size, and this hand is going to take control of the ball and it is going to move to the bottom. Okay? That is the direction I am going to be going. Okay, so I'm going to rotate my body in the direction that lower hand is pointing. Another way you can think of this hand is going down, this hand is going over the top. You can think of it, if it works better for you, as going in the direction of your upper hand's elbow. So you feel it sliding this way. And you see I'm rotating in the direction of that elbow. This is the lower hand. I'm rotating in the direction of those fingers. Upper hand, I'm rotating in the direction of this elbow. Okay. Now this rotation that is happening, this is happening in our hip joints. So we are sinking down and we are moving from our hip joints and our hip joints basically only. We're not twisting through our waist. So this initial alignment, our shoulders over our hips, remains exactly the same. I am twisting through my hips and my shoulder and my hip stays in line and my shoulder and my hip stays in line. If you want to work on this hip movement, this particular one, in our standing and movement basics or movement anatomy, what did I call that? I don't even remember at this point. Movement vocabulary, that's what I called it. This sinking down, rotation, and weight shift that we were going to be doing in here is all covered in that playlist. Please go have a look at it afterwards. Don't worry about it too much for right now. The only thing that I'm going to caution you with is we want to make sure that our knees are remaining in line with our toes. We don't want our knees to be falling in this way or falling out there. Just as long as you're not doing it with too much force tonight, it won't be an issue for you. It's just something you want to start building awareness of early on in your Tai Chi and Qigong career. The weight shift that is going to happen with this movement, that's also in our movement vocabulary. And honestly, don't worry too much about that one either. Just kind of try and go with the flow. Whichever direction you're going, just let your weight hang out a little more on that leg. Okay? Don't worry about making it go too far one way or the other. And that's probably the best tip I can give you is don't worry about trying to get to a certain amount of turn. It's more important, even if it's only a couple of degrees, even if you're only moving a tiny bit side to side, only getting a few degrees of rotation out of this movement, as long as you are getting it from the hips, that's the most important point. Okay? And as you continue to move from the hips and only the hips, don't allow your hips to lock and you're try and make your body turn further or compromise your knees to try and get around. Just go with the flow on the hips. Very, very gentle. Feel that sway happening in there. And over time, you are going to get a greater and greater range of motion. Even at like I'm going to say maximum, we're probably only talking about 45 degrees on one side to the other. So this is only like 90 degrees total that we would be getting. It's not a huge amount of movement. Okay. So again, no stress on that. Don't worry about it too much. The other thing that's going to tend to happen with people is we're going to focus on the hands because we're humans. We like to see what hands are doing. And we're going to be making this ball shape, and it's going to look like from the outside that this ball is really doing a lot of movement. But most of it is actually an optical illusion. Because we're still doing the exact same hand movements from our initial exercise. We're just adding twisting from the hips and shifting of the waist, which moves the ball visually to the outside observer quite a long ways, but it is never traveling off of my center line. It's still remaining that same distance in front of my chest. I am doing as little as possible, as opposed to my little 2-year-old running above our head who is doing as much as possible. I don't know what she did, but I'm sure Grandma and Mom are videoing it to show me later. So one important point here is I'm always making sure that as I hit the middle section, this point where my weight is 50-50, my hands are 50-50, exactly opposite each other, and then initial catch the ball portion of this movement. There is a tendency to try and speed over to the other side. I want to try and time it so that as my weight shifts and I'm exactly in the middle. My hands should be exactly even and parallel. So one of the reasons this is probably one of my favorite Tai Chi movements is, in a way, it feels very similar to my favorite silk reeling exercises, of which there is a 12-part series currently posting every Friday on this channel. And the reason I said I really like the silk reeling is because conceptually, this is a pretty simple movement. There's definitely a lot more, quote unquote, complex movements in Tai Chi. A lot of the real pretty ones that everyone's like, ooh, I want to learn to do that. White crane spreads its wings. Snake creeps down. Which, yes, I admit, are both very sexy moves. I do have videos planned coming up for those. Those will be in the favorite movement section playlist. So subscribe and turn on notifications. Oh man, I just feel so dirty saying that. But really, despite its simplicity, there's just no end to the depth in this movement. There's always more to investigate. There's always better timing you could do. It can always be smoother and is with like no friction behind it. Okay. So that move shows up as a transition in all sorts of yang styles and other styles. It shows up somewhere. And there's a couple of different versions and ways of doing it, slightly different movement patterns behind it. That one that we did tonight is probably analogous to the most common one you're going to find, but do not be surprised to bump into any variations of it in other styles as well. And they're all valid. That's one of the cool things I love about the ball, because I've been able to learn it in a couple of different styles and a few different methods, and it gives you lots of opportunities to play around with it. Some of my favorite variations are, if I'm holding it on the side and we're swinging it back and forth, this is kind of a transition right through the center. I also like to let the ball drop in front of me, picking it up on the side. So let it drop and pick it up. Again, being super lazy about it. Just letting gravity take my hands pretty much wherever possible. So here, this hand is just dropping straight down in space. My lower hand is getting dragged by my waist. The back hand just falls down beside. And as I twist, this hand is getting pulled straight up. The lower hand is scooping with the waist until it comes to the center. Super relaxed. Coming through that center where everything's even, 50-50. Weight transfers. Then, of course, Tai Chi being yin and yang, for every down curve, there's going to be an up version. So dropping the ball, picking it up. So doing that one, on the side. And here, our lower hand is in control of that ball. It's coming up the center. In front of the face, hands are parallel and even when our weight is 50-50. And we keep going. Now this one has got the ball. It's in control. Catch on this side. Pull it up. Front of the face. Just like so. Again, different energies, but still just being super relaxed about it, allowing gravity and just the rotation that's happening power my hands. I'm putting nothing into them in terms of effort. Just checking the time. We still got a few minutes. Oh, they're having fun. The last variety we're going to go over tonight is putting together the over and under and turning it into a complete circle exercise. Catch the ball. Rotate to the side. I'm going to drop it down. over the top, to the middle, drop it down. Pick it up. Fifty-50. 80-20. Maybe. 50-50. 2/3, 1/3. 50-50. 70-30. Somewhere in that range. And let's come through the center. 50-50. To the side. Now let's go over. Reversing the circle. Through the middle, down, over the top, through the middle, down, over the top, through the middle, down, middle, down, over the top, through the middle, down, through the middle, over the top. So with just those few varieties, going side to side through the middle, dropping the ball and picking it up, bringing it up in front of the head and down to the other side, gives you a lovely little figure eight, almost yin-yang style thing that you can just free flow and sort of jam and play with and move how your body wants to move. And you just let it go there. You can just give it those sort of simple parameters. You get that lower circle, the upper circle, through the center. Our palms are always facing each other. One hand on top, one hand on the bottom. Always moving together in concert. Anytime our weight is shifting from one side and we go through the middle, our hands are parallel, either in front of us here, up in front of our face there, or down, hanging out at our sides. And just something you can have fun, play around with, circle around. Again, it's conceptually a very simple move. Its applications are absolutely endless, and those are only a few of the varieties. of this movement. Those are the ones I start off by teaching. And there will be another series coming up just on the ball. It's going to be, I'm going to try and make it basically every single variation that I know of for the ball, and give you a bunch of possibilities for ways you might want to integrate it into your practice. It's, again, one of my favorite moves for that very reason. It's just endless amount of exploration and fun diving into it. So I hope you enjoyed that tonight. Tune into the channel for more of these on Thursday nights at 6:30. And check out the various playlists and things like that. If there's anything you see you might be interested in. If you've got anything you would like to see coming up on this channel, anything you want me, topics you want me to investigate, explore, anything like that, make a comment in this video or any of the other ones that you happen to be watching. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. I hope you have a lovely evening. Or day, whenever you're watching this.